Don Lemon comes unglued, lashes out at Sarah Sanders, and accuses her of spreading lies. You gotta laugh. By Amy Moreno for TruthFeedNews.com. The fake news media is in meltdown mode because one of their own was booed at a Trump rally. Now they're playing the victim and acting as if their enemy of the people moniker, President Trump, fave, was not well earned. Fave? Okay. These so-called journalists have been spreading fake news, hate, and calling anyone who supports Trump a racist, hillbilly, or Nazi, and they wonder why we distrust and dislike them. They truly do wonder because they're clueless and live in an elite bubble. I would say they're all suffering from Trump derangement syndrome, and they're being paid off. We all know that. Don Lemon proved that when he took to the airwaves to attack Sarah Huckabee Sanders as a liar. Yeah, we all know who's lying here, Don, but we'll take a quick listen to your rhetoric here.
Sanders held a press briefing at the White House today. Finally, it was only the fourth time in a month. It's no secret that the White House's relationship with the press is terrible, and we know why. It's because this administration is waging a war on journalism and the truth. And Sarah Sanders fights her battles from the podium. Just today, she was asked about our Jim Acosta, our very own Jim Acosta, being heckled at a Trump rally Tuesday night. And instead of actually answering, she makes this baffling and false, by the way, claim. False? And then she dug way back 2 decades to find it. Watch.
We fully support a free press, but there also comes a high level of responsibility with that. The media routinely reports on classified information and government secrets that put lives in danger and risk valuable national security tools. This has happened both in our administration and in past administrations. One of the worst cases was the reporting on the U.S. ability to listen to Osama bin Laden's satellite phone in the late 90s. Because of that reporting, he stopped using that phone and the country lost valuable intelligence.
So that story is just not true.
I heard that
it was
story.
Debunked years ago.
No.
Despite the claim having been made by President George W. Bush and the 9/11 Commission. The media reported that Osama bin Laden was known to use a satellite phone, something that was widely known at the time and had been previously reported. By the time it was reported that the U.S. might be able to monitor that phone, bin Laden was already scaling back use of those devices. It is quite a stretch to go back 2 decades to a debunked story to try to defend the behavior we all saw last night. Are you supporting a free press if you spread falsehoods? If you spread lies from the podium? And does a president support a free press if he also supports the people who try to stop journalists from doing their jobs?
Yeah.
The president retweeted a video of his fans booing Acosta at his rally Tuesday night, sharing an instance of open hostility to the media with his 53 million Twitter followers.
That's right.
A Trump rally gets ugly. His supporters harass a reporter doing their job, calling him a traitor and a liar.
He is.
What
and so are you.
Do? Well, retweet a video in support of the hecklers.
That's right.
That's why, when asked a second time if the White House condemns what happened to Jim Acosta, she's given a second chance to actually support press freedom. Sanders refuses.
Of course. We're not going to...
I said no one was being violent last night in terms of hitting anybody, and no broadcaster was broadcasting state secrets. They were trying to do stand-ups at a public rally.
And we don't like you.
People trying to yell over them, preventing them from doing their jobs, and yelling that their network sucks on live TV.
Which it does.
Do we support that or not?
While we certainly support freedom of the press, we also support freedom of speech.
That's right.
I think that those things go hand in hand.
That's right. There you go. You didn't like that, Lemon? Too bad.
April Ryan is here, CNN political analyst.
Oh, yeah. Let's bring April Ryan up there.
Denominator. And then to have it defended.
Poor people there.
The most esteemed podium in the world. So, what do you think? Why would she go back to a story that's been debunked years and years ago?
How many times have they leaked classified information to the press? I mean, come on, Lemon. Really?
Light phone. And Bin Laden.
Because she's trying to justify the irrational, trying to justify foolishness.
No, you guys are trying to justify the irrational and foolishness. And we respect freedom of speech. And Don Lemon, if you had come to one of the Trump rallies, they'd tell you, you suck also. And you, April Ryan.
There was no cause for that. And
Really?
she's playing to this base that listens to the president. They need
Yes, we do listen to the president. We're not going to listen to you guys.
this to rally behind the president because this president is embattled. So when this
Really?
president is embattled, he either goes to sports and talks about the knee,
That's right.
or he goes to the press.
Disrespect for our flag and disrespect for our country while you guys reap the benefits. Yes, yes. And that's what America believes in.
So he goes to some other things that just make his base get into a frenzy. And
Oh, you mean to tell me, just like Maxine Waters tries to get people into a frenzy about Russian collusion, just like Hillary Clinton tries to get her followers into a frenzy about Russian collusion? Really? Those are fake. What Trump is doing with the kneeling and the representing the flag and the anthem and the American way, but he has 53 million followers, if not more, and you know that they get a lot of the followers off too with that shadow banning and everything. People try to get on there. I've been told that on Twitter and whatnot, and they can't get on there once they are identified as a Trump supporter.
forget all the other stuff. That's what it is. It's a big shiny silver ball at the detriment of a free press.
There is free press. You spew your lies. You are allowed to spew your lies, but you're going to be called out for them. Nobody's stopping you from spewing your lies. Did anybody reprimand you guys for spewing lies? No, because who's funding you guys, right?
Have been at the White House, 20 years now?
21.
For 21, for Republican and Democratic administrations, right? I'm sure this is very different. Do you sit in that room, again, as I said, the most esteemed podium in the world, and do you just sit there and say, I cannot believe that someone is standing here lying to the American media and the American people,
Listen to these
trying
jokers.
to gaslight them? Do you? Is it
Trying to
surreal for you to
gaslight
sit there
them.
every day? Because it's surreal to watch on TV.
Don, I'm going to say this to you. Today, when she said that, I couldn't believe when she was talking about, how we get leaked information. We don't just, as the press, we don't just walk into an office and open files and take leaked information and report it. Our sources are giving it to us, giving it to us willingly, because they're whistleblowers. And for her to assume or to say that we are just gathering it and we're wrong, no. She's not. She's changing the facts. And if you want to say she's lying, she's lying. And I agree with that. It was shameful today.
Really?
That podium is no place to play. You don't play with words. You don't play with moments. Everything comes to the White House, from War to Peace and everything in between. That's a serious moment in a serious place. And Jim Acosta's life, in my opinion, was in jeopardy that night.
Really?
There was a safety issue.
Really?
And,
I didn't see anybody
she gets run out of a
attacking.
hen house a couple of weeks ago and gets Secret Service detail.
We don't have
Jim
Secret
Acosta,
Service detail.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And this president, President Donald J. Trump, has stoked the flames
Really?
for reporters to feel like they are in jeopardy. Their lives, their safety is in jeopardy.
Oh,
their
give it
lives
a
are in jeopardy
rest.
at these rallies.
Give it
And
a
something
rest.
has got to stop.
Well,
She gets taxpayer funded. She gets taxpayer funded security
Yeah,
for
she
something that
should.
she stokes.
Yeah.
But yet it's okay. It's freedom of speech for us. It is not right. And I talked to Ari Fleischer, former White House press secretary under George W. Bush, and we had our back and forth quite a bit. And I've had back and forth with even Robert Gibbs. But it was always a friendly adversarial situation. It was never personal.
Yeah, because you've never attacked any previous president with the amount and the vicious attacks. You've never. Yous are Hillary shills, and you went after this president with a vengeance. So you cannot compare the previous administration with what you have done with this administration.
This has now gone beyond
Really?
politics. This has gone into life. This has gone into
Oh,
changing
Lord.
lives.
But here's the thing that I have to say, a couple of things here. Number one, we don't begrudge her security or anyone who has secrets.
Oh, it's not begrudging
apparently
her,
they
yeah,
need it. They need it, and many journalists need it now because of what this president and this administration.
I'm raising
The
my...
conservatives are not violent. It's your leftist lunatics that are violent. What are you trying to tell the people? You think people don't watch videos? They don't see what's on the internet? Who the violent ones are? Come on. Yous can talk till yous are blue in the face. Nobody believes you.
And I'm one of those,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah,
yes.
so a lot of us are. But it started with lock her up, build a wall, and all of these
Yeah.
unseemly chants, and now it's
Correct.
CNN sucks.
Yeah.
It's not about CNN. It's just about the behavior. Like you're sitting here, CNN is whining because it's not. If they had said it about any other network or any other person in the crowd or any other entity, we would be having this conversation because this is supposed to be a dignified,
Yous are not
respectful
dignified.
place to do the American people's business. And he says
But
what you're
Don-
reading and hearing, what you're seeing or whatever, it's not true. And so
So-
further stoking that.
But see, here's the problem. And people want to listen to the now and listen to this president and be entertained by him. But they
Entertained?
can talk about patriotism and talk about the Constitution in this country, but they forget.
Who's
Before
they?
they talk about, the guns, Second Amendment, there's the First Amendment that beat out the Second Amendment, the First Amendment. And within that First Amendment is freedom of the press. The Founding Fathers put into the Constitution
Nobody shut you
this
down.
accountability piece. If the checks and balances over here between the executive, legislative, and judicial branches don't work, you still have a press that asks questions to find out, to give transparency to a situation that, or
A check,
or an initiative
checks and
or something.
balances, a check on
Yes.
our government. I've got to
Yes.
go, and it's there for a reason. And there is a reason, April, that it's the first one. It's in the,
The
first one.
first one.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate.
Notice the somberness, like the seriousness of it. If they didn't have freedom of speech, right? Freedom of the press, right? They'd be shut down. They're not shut down, so they have freedom of speech. People on the internet don't have freedom of speech, but they do, okay? So, what does that say? The somberness in them, the seriousness. Stop spewing your lies, and you won't be heckled. But we know who the unhinged are, Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.